What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Too Pop to Handle. I'm your host, Andrew Nucatola, your pop culture best friend. And as always, I hope you guys are having a fabulous week. I hope everybody had a fabulous weekend. My apologies that we are a day late this week. All is well. We are here. We are thriving. This week's episode is jam-packed. There is so much to talk about. I was writing out my outline this week and I was like, how am I going to squeeze this into an hour? I had to chop some things. Like I'm sorry, Carrie Underwood getting the American Idol spot. I'm sorry, Adele, your show looked wonderful. Adele World looks insane, but they had to get cut. I was like, I need to make room for other things. So, we had to cut. There was it's a hard job being a podcast host and producer and pretty much the entire team for the podcast. But sometimes I feel guilty. I'm like, oh my God, I feel bad that I'm not going to talk about this on an episode. But like, Liza Minelli releasing a memoir. I'm sorry, that's bigger news to me than Carrie Underwood replacing Katy Perry on American Idol. Push comes to shove, you do what you gotta do. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We are getting way too ahead. So let's reel it back for a second. Yes, I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are all having fabulous weeks, fabulous weekends. Since we last spoke, I have ruffled the feathers of a certain demographic that, to be honest, I don't really care what they think about me because I will never be catering to them. But it's like straight Republican men, really the worst type of person in the world. I posted the clip of me talking about how the Olympics are gay last week, which if you listen to last week's episode, I was saying, the men in Speedos, Lady Gaga, Celine Dion, the drag queens, like the Olympics are very gay. So I posted the clip, did my thing, and literally within like seconds, thousands of views, it hit and they ran with it. It went nuts. Unfortunately, not with the audience I really wanted it to resonate with, but the comments were hilarious. So any of my YouTube girlies, or if anybody's interested in some funny, reading, some light reading to do, go check out the comments on the reel. I think I titled it "The Olympics Are So Gay" or something. They were having a field day with me. Oh my God, they had so much to say, and I was kind of eating it up. I was like, you know what? Keep commenting, feed the algorithm. I'll take it. Engagement is engagement. You know what I mean? Views are views. It is what it is. But yeah, they were not having it. They were very they had a lot to say the least. And to that I say I don't really care. But yeah, it was fun to read. And the Olympics just continued to get gayer. We literally watched a man lose the Olympic medal for pole vaulting because his dick was too big to get over the bar. Like, he literally took the entire bar down with his penis. And you're gonna tell me this isn't queer content? Try again. Like, argue with the wall. Come on. Like, let's be so serious. But that being said, yeah, if you want to see some fun, light reading, go check out those comments because it was hilarious. I was having a field day reading them. But yeah, the Olympics are gay. Nothing has changed. And yeah, we're gonna, keep the ball rolling. And before we get into our, two pop to handle moments from the week and get into some more rapid fire things, I just need to make sure I am not the only one who is getting bombarded on TikTok with cucumber videos. Like, I cannot scroll more than two videos without somebody making some sort of cucumber salad. And I'm not mad about it, but I'm waiting to see when this cucumber shortage happens. Like, it's gonna happen, right? Everybody is ordering cucumbers and buying cucumbers like it is their job, as if their life depends on it. And if everybody's eating a cucumber every single day, there's not going to be enough cucumbers to go around. Like, what happens when the world has a cucumber shortage and Logan, the guy who started this whole trend, can't make his videos? What is he going to do then? I did see him do, sometimes you need to eat an entire onion in a day, and he made like an sliced onion concoction. I don't think I could get on board with that. Eating an onion like that, I was like, not for me. However, the cucumbers I can fully get behind, and it's on my list. I need to make a few cucumber salads, really get in with the trend. But I'm really worried, like, what happens when everybody's eating a cucumber every single day and there's no more cucumbers for him to keep making his recipes and his videos? These are the things that I think about. Like, I'm genuinely worried for his content when it's gonna happen when the cucumber shortage happens. I don't know. You heard it here first. I was waiting for the headline. It happens every single time there's a big trend. You can't find this, you can't find that. Remember instant coffee in 2020? Nobody could get instant coffee anywhere because we were all making our whipped fucking coffees at home. Crazy times. This is like that wave again. We're not gonna be able to find cucumbers for months. They're gonna be out of stock. No one's gonna be able to find them. Logan's not gonna be able to make a TikTok video about it. It's a curse. The internet is a curse. It really is. And with that, let's hop into the show. You guys know the drill, our new run of show. We are starting out with our moments from the week that were just too pop to handle. And starting out with, I mean, this is really for the gays and the Broadway girls. Liza Minnelli is releasing a memoir. And I mean, what's not to love about Liza? If you don't know, The Wizard of Oz is my number one all-time favorite movie of all time. Judy Garland is like, I mean, she's literally hanging on my wall. I have her all over the apartment. I adore Judy Garland. So obviously I love Liza Minnelli. And I've had this happen to me like 3 or 4 times where I mention that Liza Minnelli is Judy Garland's daughter, and people are like flabbergasted. Like literally like they're like, "What do you mean Judy Garland's daughter is Liza Minnelli?" And they're always so shook. And as like a gay man, I'm like, it hurts me a little bit, but I also love to be the one to educate people that that is in fact Judy Garland's daughter. So if you didn't know that, now you know. But yes, Miss Liza Minnelli is releasing a memoir. I'm very excited. She said she wants to tell her story the way it's supposed to be told. I guess it's kind of coming from different interpretations of her life and like different docuseries or movies, things like that that have been made. She's not happy with them. She's like, nope, I'm done. She said, finally, I was mad as hell. Over dinner one night, I decided it's my own damn story and I'm going to share it with you because of all the love that you've given me. So very excited for that. As you guys know, I'm not the biggest reader, but I do love a celebrity memoir, so this is one I will definitely be tuned into. And on other memoir news, we have a very exciting update from Britney Spears' memoir, The Woman in Me. It's also kind of a full circle moment because if you've been listening since my first episode, first of all, thank you. Second of all, I started the podcast the week after that Britney's memoir came out last year. And it was one of like our first like big topics that we talked about. And now it has come out this week that Universal Pictures will be putting out a biopic of Britney Spears' memoir, The Woman in Me. It will be directed by John M. Chu, which can I just for 1 second, does John M. Chu only go by John M. Chu? Does he ever just go by John Chu? I was like putting things together for the outline and I was like, just grabbing all the info and obviously I know who John Chu is, but like it dawned on me, I was like, is he a three-namer? Like, does he always have the middle initial? Is that his thing? Like, do your thing, I could care less, but I couldn't find a single article where he didn't have the M. And I thought that was interesting. Like, should I go by Andrew G. Nucatola? Like, should we all start putting our middle initial in every time that we talk about our names? Like, I don't know. I thought that was interesting. I was like, huh, I love that for him. We love a triple threat. So, yes, John will be directing the biopic, and Mark Platt, who is also producing Wicked, is producing this. Aside from also being Ben Platt's father, he has done La La Land, Honey with Jessica Alba, Legally Blonde, Little Mermaid. Like he's done his fair share. I feel like he's definitely not gonna pay Britney any disrespect. And Britney herself tweeted that she's very excited for the project that she's working on with him coming up. So clearly she's involved. I don't think they're gonna do this in any way that isn't putting her in a positive light. I mean, it's based on her memoir, so obviously it's going to be uplifting and telling her story the way that she entails it to be. So, very excited for this. Some weird things that are happening though. Felicia, who is Britney's like longtime assistant from years ago, and she was very prominent in Britney's life. She was like pretty much one of the only people who really looked out for her and her well-being back in the day. They don't work together anymore and they don't speak at all. If they do, it's like very minimal. I think they probably spoke maybe when the memoir came out, but to our knowledge, they are not really in contact. She was speaking to TMZ, which just made me feel really odd. I was like, you were like one of the people that Britney trusted her entire career, and now you're speaking to TMZ about the biopic. Like, it kind of just rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know, but she said that she has lots of ideas of who she wants to play Britney, who she wants to play herself, because obviously she's featured in the memoir as well. So weird that she is talking to TMZ and like not making it about herself, but like I don't know. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I was like, why are you were like Britney's safe person in her career. Why are you talking to TMZ even if you guys aren't still working together or like I don't know, it just something about it felt very weird. But the point that, she made is who's gonna play Britney because who can fill those shoes? Like those are big shoes to fill, especially when it's the biopic of her life based on her own memoir. I mean, there's been so many names thrown around. Addison Rae, Emma Roberts, Sydney Sweeney, Sabrina Carpenter. Somebody said Halsey, which I guess they were just kind of tying in for the lucky of it all, like the new song she just did. I think that's the furthest stretch I've seen. I don't think Halsey is playing Britney Spears in a biopic. I could see the rest of them though. Like Addison Rae, I mean, obviously, like the pop girl. She's the definition of a pop star. Could 100% see it. Emma Roberts, I mean, do I see the look? Not 100%, but like it's Emma Roberts. Like she's never bad in anything. So I wouldn't be mad if she did it, but I also wouldn't, I wouldn't be like, wouldn't be my first pick, but we'll see. You never know. Sydney Sweeney, I mean, just like a gorgeous blonde. I think that's why she's on the list. I think she could do it. I think I could definitely see it. Um, I guess we will see. I don't know. And then Sabrina Carpenter, again, just like a pretty blonde. Could she do it? 100%. She's literally the definition of a pop star. So I guess we will see. I'm very excited to see how this plays out, to see who ends up playing Britney, to see, how when it comes to life. I didn't really see any info on like when it's coming out, what the dates are, things like that. This is very literally just bought the rights to the movie. So we're in very early stages of it, but I'm very excited for this. Excited to kind of get another way to see Britney's story come to life and share her side of the story because realistically, I feel like a lot of people didn't read her book because people who aren't fans of her weren't flocking to it. So maybe a movie will give other people a way to kind of get the story and, understand, the woman in her, for lack of a better words. But very exciting there. And on the topic of Britney, but shifting a little bit, the woman that seems to be on everybody's lips this week, rightfully so, Blake Lively. So she has been hot on her press tour for It Ends With Us, her movie that comes out this Friday. People are saying it's really, really good. It was getting some mixed signals of, I feel like it was like a year or so ago, maybe 2 years ago, when those pictures from the set got leaked and she was wearing like the kookiest outfits we've ever seen in our lives. So it definitely people were a little like, what the fuck are you wearing? Like this is not the vibe for this movie. But people have seen it. They said that they're loving it. They're saying it's really good. So TBD, we'll see, what people are thinking. But like I said, it comes out this Friday. Very highly anticipated. I know people love the book. So we will see how that goes. But the premiere was last night here in New York, and she literally wore Britney's Versace dress from 2002 to the premiere because she wanted to pay homage to Britney. She said, Britney has meant so much to me forever. I'm forever a Britney stan. She went on to post a picture of Britney in the dress to her story, and she was just saying, like, thank you so much for encouraging women to, be themselves. I think she said, like, you were one of the first women who made me feel like I should sparkle. Just really cute. And, like, it just keeps going to show, like, Britney has raised a generation of so many people, whether it is other famous people, us regular folk, like Britney Spears, you will always be famous. They Could Never Make Me Hate You. Very excited to see the people's response to this Blake Lively movie because I know Colleen Hoover is very controversial. People kind of go back and forth with her. I don't really have an opinion. I don't read that often, to be completely honest, but we will see. I know this movie is very highly anticipated, so I'm excited for that. And while Blake Lively is just on her up and up right now for this press tour, she is also on the cover of the September Vogue issue, which I mean, the September Vogue issue was like the issue to be on the cover. So very exciting there. Interestingly enough, she is also on the cover with Hugh Jackman. So there was a few covers that they put out, and then the photo shoot. The photo shoot was a reference back to Catch a Thief. She's playing like the robber in the situation. Her and Hugh Jackman. It seems like um, they're on like a not like a heist, but like they're on the run almost kind of thing. She looks gorgeous. When doesn't Blake Lively look stunning? I mean, she's literally perfect. Like she is beautiful. She looked gorgeous on the cover. I think this was a perfect time for this cover to come out with the movie. Like again, the September issue is the issue that you want to be on the cover. It's like the most coveted one. So I think this timing was perfect. And like I think it's time that Blake Lively was, it makes sense that Blake Lively is having her moment. She has this huge movie coming out. Ryan Reynolds just had his movie come out. Like the two of them are just like on this up and up. I definitely was a little confused as to why Hugh Jackman was in the shoot and not Ryan with her. But I mean, Hugh is in the movie with Ryan. Obviously, they all have this like really fun, loving relationship. So, not the strangest pick, but I was like, why wouldn't they do Ryan in the shoot with Blake and do Hugh Jackman maybe as part of the joke? I feel like they're all so just like funny and like always making some type of joke of like everything they do. So, who knows? They all looked gorgeous. They always do. They're just like beautiful people. So whoever's on the cover out of the three of them, they're going to look great. But yes, a very exciting time to be Blake Lively right now. We love to see it. And moving right along to our next moment that was just too pop to handle. The Simple Life is filming, and I am so excited. Obviously, we know that Paris and Nicole are working on something for the 20th anniversary of The Simple Life, which, again, just like Britney Spears, raised a generation. And they were seen at a Sonic earlier this week filming something. Nicole was in a hot dog suit. They were in their little Sonic uniforms, obviously paying homage to questionably one of the most iconic episodes of the original Simple Life. Like I will never forget when Nicole literally they're giving them their the application at the beginning, or like, the job forms, and they're telling them, all right, fill this out, do your tax stuff. And Nicole, and they're like, all right, now you have to figure out who you want to claim on your taxes. And they're like, what are taxes? Like, it's so good. Also, remember, it was like 10 o'clock in the morning. They're like sitting there eating their like lunch at 10 a.m. and they're like, what time do we have to work till? And they're like, 3 o'clock. They're like, is it 3 yet? They're like, it's 9:45. Like, that show, what that like that is really peak reality television. Like, that was such a pivotal moment in reality TV, and the fact that they're doing it again right now, I cannot wait. Just seeing these photos of them together, I'm very excited. I am curious because obviously on the original Simple Life, there wasn't as much at stake. They weren't grown adults, they didn't have families. Like, they were very much just like two young hot it girls who wanted to go make a TV show and like run around and do whatever the fuck they wanted. Now, obviously, they've established their careers a little bit more. They obviously drifted apart. They weren't friends for years. So, like, even the fact that they were doing this is so exciting because, they're just rekindling their friendship and doing that thing in that sense. But, like, I'm very curious like what limits they're gonna push, because like they just didn't have a care in the world back then, because they were just there for fun and like filming a TV show and like looking pretty doing it. But like now they have families, they have careers, they have businesses, they have other things at stake. So I'm curious like where they push the bar, and if they're gonna play into like the stupid blonde again, because obviously they both said like it was an act. They were doing it to be funny, and funny they were. So I'm curious to see like where they land, and if they're just going to be doing this as like more reminiscent, or if they're actually going to be like working at Sonic again and doing all these other things. Regardless, I will be seated. I cannot wait for this Simple Life reboot to come back. It's going to be so good. I cannot wait. We will definitely be recapping that when it comes about. And then our final moment of the week that was just too pop to handle is actually something that happened today, and it's definitely a mood shifter. So I kept it at the end before we go into the rest of the show, because it was just didn't really know where it fit. It was one of those topics where I was like, I don't want to not talk about it, but I don't know how to talk about it without like completely putting a damper on the show. But it is the Vienna Eras Tour shows and then being canceled this week. So if you did not see, Taylor Swift was set to go on this week in Vienna on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and they did end up canceling the shows today. This is the first time any Eras shows have been canceled, and only the second time in Taylor's career she has ever canceled a show. The first time being back in, I think it was like the 1989 tour, 24 or like 2014-ish. So that era, it was a show in Bangkok, I believe. She canceled it because of the person who was like elected into power when she would be performing there. I think it just like I don't know, something wasn't safe for her to like be there, or like she wasn't aligning with what was going on. That was like the only show she's ever canceled. She's like known for not canceling shows. And then unfortunately today, I guess fortunately actually, as upsetting as it is that the shows were canceled for the fans going, two men were arrested because there was an ISIS connected terrorist plot to attack the concert in Austria later this week. They had a specific plan on how to carry out the attacks. Police found various chemical substances in one of their homes. Like, they were fully ready to attack the stadium at some point during the three shows. Who knows when? Like, doesn't matter when, doesn't matter how. Like, so terrifying. Thank God that they caught them and like figured this out before it happened. That would have just been so devastating. Anything ever happening at a concert, let me rephrase, anything ever happening to this extent is always so heartbreaking, because like how can people be so evil? But as somebody who loves going to concerts and is like their number one favorite thing to do in the world, whenever I see news like this, it breaks my heart, because concerts are such a escape for me. It's like what I do, what I look forward to. It's like my happy place. I always say it on here. I'm like, I am at my happiest when I'm at a concert. I love live music. I love going to shows. Like, it is what I love to do. So anytime I see any news like this, it just breaks my heart, and it's sad. Like, we shouldn't be scared to go anywhere. To obviously, especially here in America, like, it is not. You can't walk down the street without worrying about something happening, unfortunately. But they're especially like at a concert where you're like, we're coming together for this one night, this one, like, it's a celebration of your favorite artist, of their music, whatever it may be. And for this to happen, thankfully, they figured it out before the shows went on. It's so unfortunate that they had to cancel the shows, but it's fortunate that they were able to stop it. And, thankfully nothing did end up happening. Definitely a little like freaky to think about the shows next week and like continuing from there. Like, if anything's going to continue to happen, I'm sure they are watching this with like a, super, super, super close to see if anything happens, if it's any like sketchy behavior and things like that. But it's obviously so upsetting for the fans who traveled, but their safety is obviously top priority. So really upsetting. I know I don't like to ever, like dampen the mood here. We're a very upbeat, a very fun, happy, positive podcast, but this happened today. And obviously we talk about the Eras Tour a lot. So it felt wrong not talking about it and not, bringing it up because what the fuck, people, it's insane. And the comments online about people just like tying, ISIS into it, and like, being, people are just being openly racist towards the whole group of people. And it's disgusting. People really need to like zip their lip and just be fortunate that like, hey, nothing happened. I understand, like, it sucks that maybe you flew or you were going to see Taylor and you've been waiting. I get it. But the tweets that I'm seeing and like the just flat out racist takes, we gotta nip that in the butt. Like, I get it. I understand it is devastating that you can't go to the Eras Tour, but like, you potentially could have died. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. Let's keep the show going. Let's keep this show on the road, because those were our two pop to handle rapid fire moments from the week. We are moving right along with the show, and we are going into my Drew releases, which is our new music that came out last week and our new music that is coming out this week. And we had some hard hitters this week. It was a very exciting week for pop music. First and foremost, you guys thought Brat Summer was over. Mm-mm-mm. Charli XCX releases the Guess remix with Billie Eilish, which, first and foremost, Billie has not collabed with an artist other than her brother in 6 years. So the fact that Charli got her to do this, it is incredible. And Charli is just keeping Brat Summer alive. She is collecting these remixes and these pop girls like Infinity Stones. She had Addison Rae, Robin, Lorde, now Billie Eilish. Like, she is just on a rampage. And she said, she was like, Brat Summer is not over. We are keeping this party going, and I am eating it up. This remix is so good. Billie's verse had me feeling some type of way. I was like, oh my God, like, I know it's Billie Eilish and she's not like the most like femme woman ever. So like, it's not that crazy, but I was like, am I straight? Like, why is a woman making me feel this way? I was like, it was so hot. It is so good. I loved it. Charli likes boys, but she knows I had to hit it. Like, my God, Miss Billie had me feeling some type of way on this remix, and I loved it. It is so good. And clearly, the rest of the world is also loving it because it had the biggest debut for an all female remix in global Spotify history. Her first #1 hit on US Spotify since Fancy. She had 40% more streams on that day, with 24.6 million streams in one day when the song was released. Like, people were going nuts, and they're still going nuts for it. Like, this remix is so good. I love it. The video is so good. Ugh, Brat is the moment. I'm obsessed. It is so good. I cannot get enough. And somebody else I cannot get enough of is Kacey Musgraves. We talked about it last week. She released Deeper Into the Well on Friday, so it was the extended version of Deeper Well that she released back in March. I want to say March or April. It was like early springtime. So 7 new tracks, and I think this was a really fun way to do it, to kind of give us a breather with the album and then drop not only extended but 7 new songs. That's a whole EP. That's more than most people release on an EP. So very exciting. And these tracks complement the album so well. You can definitely tell that like they could have been placed into the album if she wanted them to be, but she just, she picked the track list to be what it was. Ruthless, so good. Irish Goodbye, so good. Honestly, all the tracks are really good, but those were the two that really stood out to me. And I love this era of Kacey Musgraves. I feel like she is just like in her healing era. She is doing her little farmer's market moment. Like, she is becoming one with nature. Her Saturn has returned, and I love it. There's Kacey Musgraves rarely misses, and I love this album. I love this era. I know she's coming to New York in November, and I definitely want to make sure I go to that show because I haven't seen her in a while. The last time I didn't go to Starcross, so the last time I saw her had to be like 2019. which is way too long. I have not seen her in way too long. And I love the Star-Crossed album, loving this album. Honestly, all of her albums are so good. So definitely on my radar to get tickets for that. But loving this extended version of the album. I thought it was such a smart way to do it. So with all the music coming out around the time that she released the album, I feel like people were just like jumping from album to album. So to release it now, it's kind of giving us a new resurgence with the album that I love because it's an incredible album. It's so good. And yeah, I thought that was like the perfect little add-on and reminder, like, hey, I'm still here. This album came out and it's great. Listen to it and here's some new things to, refresh your memory and give you something new to sprinkle into your playlist. So loving this release from Miss Kacey. And then we also had new music from Flo, which Flo just doesn't release bad music. They just continue to give us like Y2K early 2000s like R&B girl group vibes, which I love. I saw them at Gov Ball this year. They were incredible. And everything they've been putting out lately, I've been eating up. This new single is called Check. I'm loving it. It's pretty much they're keeping their man in check. Did you check this? Did you check that? Are you checking to make sure he's going to be good to you? It's a lesson that everybody needs to know. Sometimes you learn it the hard way. Sometimes you check beforehand. And you miss a bullet, you dodge a red flag. But I'm loving this. The video was so good. They do a little check on it reference at the beginning, a little Beyonce moment, which they're so Destiny's Child coded in the best way possible. So I love that little nod there. Obviously, check on it. Like such a fun little play on words. They look gorgeous in the video. If you're not listening to Flo, you are missing out. If you're into that like vibe, that early 2000s R&B kind of girl group vibe, so good. They don't release bad music. There's not a single Flo song I can think of that isn't so good, so fun. Loving this release, loving that. I don't know, they must have an album coming out. This is like their third single they put out this year, I want to say. Maybe second or third, somewhere in that range. And there must be an album coming. I'm not like on top of their music releases. Like I listen to it when it comes out. I always end up seeing it online, like when it gets dropped, but I'm not like the biggest in the know with them. But they must have an album coming out to some extent, or maybe an EP. Regardless, I will be listening to it. I will be tuning in, and you should too, because they are fabulous. And that wraps up our new music from last week. But I have to give a shout out to my girl Alyssa. If you're listening to this, hello. She has been telling me for weeks. She keeps DMing me. She's like, "Oh my God, listen to this, listen to this, listen to that," because she always listens and she knows if there's music that I don't cover and she wants me to listen to, she's sending it to me. And this week she sent me two pieces of music and they were so good. So first of all, hi Alyssa. Thank you for sending me some music, sending some recommendations. But they are Alessia Cara's new single, Dead Man, and Maren Morris's new EP, Intermission. Now, Alessia Cara, obviously, I loved her back in the day when she released that first album. I mean, Here was like, you couldn't escape it. And I loved it. I love that song. I love that album. She has such a unique voice, and I think she's so talented and criminally underrated. I feel like she is so talented. Her writing style is so good, but I feel like she never gets the flowers that she deserves. And she has a new single out. It's called Dead Man, and I really, really liked it. Again, she just has such a unique voice. She has such like a style that is like hers, you know what I mean? And she's so good. I'm loving this track. It was really, really good. I had no idea that she even released it. So when Alyssa sent it to me and I was like, oh my God, Alessia Cara, like where has she been? It's been a minute, I feel like, since she's released anything. And this was a great single to come back with. And then Maren Morris. Now she is one who was never really on my radar, just because you guys know, like country music, not always my thing. I don't always go for it. So I'm not always like inviting new country artists into my realm. But Maren Morris, I mean, I feel like she's lately become more of like a moment. She just came out as bisexual, which we love. She always has like bangers. She always has like good music that comes out. I just never dive into her. But this new EP was so good. It's only 5 tracks, so it's really, really easy to get through and easy just like throw it on. The opening track is called Cut and it has Julia Michaels on it, who I feel like there's just like another person who everybody always forgets how talented she is, me included. She is so good. I loved it. It is such a good way to open the album. And then Push Me Over is a bop. It is so good. The whole EP is so good, but those two really stuck out to me. And I love these releases. I love finding artists that I wouldn't typically listen to. And I dip my toe into it and I end up liking it. So thank you, Alyssa. If anybody is interested in listening to any of these songs I just talked about, you can always find them in my Drew Releases playlist on Apple Music and on Spotify. They're linked in my link in bio on Instagram, so you can find them there. And then this week coming up, we have some exciting releases as well. First up, we have Katy Perry Lifetimes, which if you guys remember, I was talking about, Women's World and all the controversy behind it. I didn't hate the song. I didn't love the song. This one sounds a lot better. but it's produced by Dr. Luke, which I'd want to just like grab her and shake her by the shoulders and be like, what are you doing? Like, why are you continuing to work with this man? But we get a new single this weekend. I think it actually comes out on Thursday. Yeah, it actually comes out Thursday. So the same day you're listening to this, if you're listening to it on release day, the song should be out some point today. I want to say like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, which is a weird time for a US artist to drop a song, but do what you want, I guess. I don't know. But yes, Lifetimes comes out this week, the second single from her upcoming album, 143. And then in other pop girly news, Miss Addison Rae, what an it girl. She is dropping Diet Pepsi this Friday, which I'm very excited. Tying back to the Britney of it all, I kind of hope she does like a Britney nod. I did a little story, a poll, and everybody was like, obviously she's going to do a Britney nod because if you remember back in the early 2000s, Britney was like the face of Pepsi for so long. There's like that iconic interview she did where they're like, she's like, I really do like Pepsi. I really do. I hope she does some type of Britney reference in the video. It would not be the first time she's done some type of nod to Britney. Those paparazzi pictures of her with the book that when it came out literally burned into my brain. Addison Rae, you will always be famous. And I'm very excited for some new music from her. It's been a minute since we got anything new from her. Very excited. Obviously, she is a part of the Brat universe, so I'm eating it up. I'm very excited. And then we also have a new album coming out from Chloe. So not on my horizon at all. I had no idea she was even releasing any music, but she is releasing her new album, Trouble in Paradise, this Friday. And what's really exciting to me is she has a song with Halle on it. So again, if you don't know Chloe, Chloe Bailey, Halle Bailey, they are two sisters, Chloe and Halle. They released Ungodly Hour as their last project together in 2020, and it is one of my all-time favorite albums. It is incredible. Their first album is incredible too. They are just so talented. I mean, they're Beyonce prodigies. I've talked about how much I love them before. They haven't released a song together since that album. So the fact that there's a song with the two of them on it, I am so excited. I used to pray for times like this. Very excited. I loved Chloe's last album. I thought it was really, really fun. So I'm excited to see how this new album comes out. And yes, it is dropping on Friday. I cannot wait. And those are our releases coming up this Friday. We will talk about them all next week and recap them and give you my thoughts. And then this isn't a release that's coming out this week, but I didn't really know where else to fit it into the show without, making it a whole thing. But Kesha has announced that she is going to be re-recording Tik ToK, which we all know and love. It's like her first single ever. It's like her biggest, still, I think, one of her biggest hits. She said she's going to re-record it when she gets the rights to it. And she's going to include the new line that her and Renee Rapp did at Coachella. So instead of wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy, it's going to be wake up in the morning like fuck P. Diddy. She posted it on Instagram today and she said, I will re-record it when I have the legal rights to. My first baby stands for so much. It stands for fiercely protecting fun and unadulterated joy in myself and in others. The whole ride has been absolute insanity, but the joy is still riding. So clearly she is like in this new era of just like doing things for herself, which we love because she has gone through so much in her career. Everybody knows Tik ToK. I mean, it's literally like it was like the song of 2009, whenever it came out. It was everywhere. You couldn't escape it. And I mean, that Kesha is so much fun. So very excited for her to re-record this. Hopefully this is like the beginning of her getting the rights to all of her music back. And, we just love to see Kesha thriving in the year 2024. It's what she deserves. It has been long awaited. And with that, let's move into the main part of the show, as if I haven't already talked about so much. But it is Pop Girl Summer in full swing. Pop girls are taking over, and there are three pop girls specifically who are really just like riding the high of this summer. And it's Charli XCX, Chappell Roan, and Sabrina Carpenter. So let's get into it, starting out with Miss Charli. We've already talked about her a bit, but we're gonna go into what a party she threw this weekend for her 32nd birthday. It looked like such a blast. If you did not see, I don't know how you didn't see it because it was everywhere. Everybody was at this party. Lorde was there, Sabrina Carpenter was there, Rosalia was there, Billie Eilish was there, Addison Rae, Lucas Gage, Gabriette, Alexa Demie, Glenn Powell, Gracie Abrams, Anya Taylor-Joy, Nelly Furtado, Tovlo. Everybody was at this party and it looked so much fun. My friend Sean was actually there as well. He's the one who posted the video of like Lorde and her dancing to Girl So Confusing and it went super viral. The party looked insane and it was just so reminiscent of Lady Gaga's 30th birthday. If you remember Lady Gaga's 30th birthday, like it was such a moment for the internet. To this day, nobody knows what happened at her birthday party, but everybody was there. Like, there's those pictures of Lorde and Nick Jonas leaving together, and everybody's like, why were they leaving together? I mean, Taylor Swift was there, Chrissy Teigen was there, like everybody and their mother was at Lady Gaga's birthday party. Those NDAs must have been thick because there is nothing that has ever come out from Lady Gaga's 30th. It's one of these like unsolved pop culture mysteries in my mind that I'm just like, what the fuck happened? But the paparazzi photos outside of Charli's birthday was just giving that energy of like early 2000s birthday parties, very like bimbo summit, like Lindsay Paris and Britney out and about, very much that. Obviously, we hate the paparazzi at Too Pop to Handle, but yeah, it was very remnant of those early 2000 moments, and it was just giving Gaga 30th birthday, and I was living for it. Obviously, where we saw nothing inside of Lady Gaga's birthday, we saw a ton inside of Charli's birthday. And I mean, the big ones really is Billie and Charli performing guests together. We saw Lord and her performing, or not performing, singing Girl So Confusing together. And then really just like the icing on top of the cake, and my personal favorite part of the entire thing was Rosalia showing up with a bouquet of Parliament cigarettes. So funny. So just like it's so brat. It was everything. I loved it. And yeah, it really Charli is just like riding out this brat moment. She is creating party culture again. Like I feel like for a while we haven't really seen celebrities just like having crazy nights out. They kind of went through like the early 2000s phase of it where everybody was out and about doing their thing. And then now we've kind of gotten to this era where like they're so private, and rightfully so. I understand like they deserve their privacy too, but we don't really get to see like these crazy paparazzi shots of them like out late at night, stumbling out of the bar where we used to see that all the time. And it's not it's not my favorite way to see a celebrity and like know the paparazzi are invading their privacy, but with the whole brat essence of it, like it just made sense for these paparazzi photos of everybody to be leaving like super late. They were all like clubbing together. I'm sure there was, lots of things going around inside that, are or are not illegal, but 365 Party Girl, bumping that. And we love to see it. We just keep up the brat summer, keep it going, keep the party rolling. I love seeing party aesthetic being back. And the next girl of Pop Girl Summer who has just had like the craziest fucking weekend, Chappell Roan. She was literally, I'm like, are you okay? She has to be exhausted. This weekend alone, she did Lollapalooza after party, main stage at Lollapalooza, Oshiga, and then Hinterland, which, to be completely honest, I had no idea what those last two festivals were. Maybe I'm like a bad concert person, could have never heard of them, but she was there, so now I know what they are. And there was like crazy lineups for them too. Like it was SZA was there. I think Renee Rapp was at one of them. Like it was big lineups. I don't know. These usually don't come across my desk, but obviously Lollapalooza I'm very familiar with, and she was pulling off the stops for every single one of these performances, which I appreciate so much. She is committed to the bit. She is committed to Chapel, and she is going to give a show every single time. She had looks for every single night. They were literally back to back shows, and she was like kicking ass on the stage in her little outfits. She came out, she had the wrestling outfit at Lollapalooza. She was dressed as a nun at one point. She was a fairy. Like, she just knows how to pull a look out and just like go completely balls to the walls. And I love it. She is literally a drag queen, and it is everything to me. She was also getting some pushback because at one of the shows, I want to say it was when she was dressed as like the little fairy outfit. I forget what show it was at. I apologize. There was a lot going on, but she couldn't get like the skirt part of it off. I guess she wanted to take it off because it was falling. So her crew came out. They tried to like help her get it off. And in one of the videos, you see her, she like snatches it away from the guy to kind of like rip it out of his hands and get it off herself. And everybody's like, it's not a good look for her to be acting like this so early in her career. She's being so snotty and bitchy and diva on stage. And I'm like, first of all, she was just trying to get her outfit off because she was literally performing. She was mid-song while this was happening. She just stepped on stage and he was already having a malfunction. I would be pissed too. And she is dressed to like she has such crazy levels to these outfits, and there's so much thought and planning that goes into it. I would be pissed too if I went on stage and within the first song there was a malfunction. Like she put so much thought and effort into all of these costumes and the designers, and she's very good about like sourcing from smaller artists and smaller designers to like give them their moment. Like I feel like I always see her working with really like local kind of like Instagram people and things like that where, she could obviously get she could be dressed by whoever she wants at this point. She's like the biggest name in pop culture right now, and she's still really good about including the smaller artists and things like that to give them their moment. So she puts so much thought and effort and, into all of these outfits. I would be annoyed too if I had a malfunction right away. It's not the designer's fault. It happened. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But like the way people were instantly jumping down her throat because she looked like she was being a bitch for 1 second, people need to get a fucking life and get off the internet for a little bit because like it's not that deep. You're being so overdramatic. I can't take it. She also continued to do some fun little nods to, shouting at her ex before My Kink is Karma, which I loved. At one of the shows, she said, I dedicate the song to my ex who was bragging that they dated me at a bar in my hometown. This is a message for your fiance. You should break up. And she said at another show, she said, this song is dedicated to my ex who literally called me an ungodly woman. What do you think about me now, bitch? And she was dressed as a nun. So I just love that she is fully she doesn't give a fuck. So she's like, "Oh, you wanted to fuck me over and be a bitch then and now you want to brag about that we dated and this and that. Fuck you and I hope you and your fiance split up." I love it. I love it. I love her. She can do no wrong to me. And she could do no wrong to the rest of Lollapalooza because she had the biggest crowd in Lollapalooza history. 110,000 people attend this festival every year, and there was about 80 to 90,000 people at her stage alone. This is now, I think, the third or fourth festival this summer alone who had her booked at a smaller stage when the festival lineup was announced and had to switch her or move her to another set because of how big the draw for her is. And that is just like icon behavior. It is what she deserves. She has been waiting for this moment for so long in her career. And see, the crowd always blows me away. The Lollapalooza crowd, this was a crowd I have never seen before. And I saw her at Gutball and the crowd was insane. And I feel like every single festival, it just gets bigger and bigger. This one was unfucking real. Imagine the entire stadium and then some of the Eras Tour in a field. So not even like in seats. Nobody was elevated. Everybody was standing in a crowd. You guys know how a festival works. I'm not talking to idiots. You know what I mean? Like, she's literally going to have to go straight to stadiums. There's no way she's going to perform in arenas. Like, whatever her next tour is, there's no fucking way she is doing an arena unless she's doing 10 nights at the venue because the demand is so high. And, like, I don't know the last time we saw somebody go straight to stadiums after one album. I don't know if anyone's ever really done that. Like, there's usually a little bit more. I guess it will be after her second album, but like fucking crazy. She has to do stadiums, right? There's no way. There's no way in hell she is stepping foot in Madison Square Garden. Like, what is she gonna do? Radio City Music Hall? Absolutely not. Like this is to a level that we have not seen in a very long time, and I am so terrified to see however fucking chaotic this ticket sale will be when her tour goes on sale because it's going to be a bloodbath. That being said, not only is she pulling crowds like crazy at Lollapalooza, she is also killing it on the Spotify charts, on the Billboard charts. She had her first #1 hit on Spotify this week with Good Luck Babe. She also had her first top 10 hit with Good Luck Babe on the Billboard Global 200 chart. And then Good Luck Babe had its new peak at #8 on the Hot 100. A few weeks ago, I was saying how it was her first top 10 hit. It was at #10 on the Billboard Hot 100. This week, it peaked at #8. So she's just continuing to grow. All of her music is charting. Everything. It is like this. This is something we have never seen before. It is insane. It is incredible. It is Chappell Roan's world, and we are just living in it. And then to tie in Pop Girl Summer of it all, her and Charli, so Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess and Brat, are competing against each other to be #1 on the UK album chart this week. Chappell is currently in the lead. She has the most units, but Brat is like right behind it. And I just keep saying it is a pop girl summer. It is incredible. Brat this week went up to #9 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, which is up 5 spots from last week. It peaked at #3, but now it's back in the top 10. Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess went up to #4. It peaked at #2, but this week it rose 4 more units. Like, it is just like these girls are killing it, and I love to fucking see it. And wrapping up our Pop Girl Summer segment, Sabrina Carpenter. I mean, she is just on top of the fucking world with the other two of them. Really, the three of them are just like dominating, and it's what they deserve. She joined the Billions Club for Spotify this week with Espresso. It was coming. We knew it was going to happen. This album has so many streams with only two songs out. I keep saying it, but it is just so crazy to know that this album is surpassing full albums that have come out. I'm pretty sure it just passed Cowboy Carter in overall streams. Like, it is killing it in the streaming game, and only two songs are out. It is incredible. But she was also at the Grammy Museum last week with Jack Antonoff, which, if you're a Jack Antonoff hater, this is not the podcast for you. We stand Jack Antonoff in this house. But there were some fun little tidbits. I think one of the bigger ones is the fact that she is teasing a deluxe version of the album. We did find out that the vinyls are going to have a deluxe or a secret track on them, I guess, when they come out. So there'll be a song that isn't available on digital on all of the vinyls, which I'm very excited for. But she also hinted at the fact that there's some type of deluxe coming. So who knows when? Obviously, the album isn't even out yet. So it's hard to get excited for something when we don't even have the first part of it. But we will see. I'm sure she'll do some type of extended version there. So very exciting. And then even more exciting, she performed a new song for the audience called Slim Pickens. And just like in typical Sabrina fashion, it's so funny. It's hilarious. She's so good at being in on the joke and like making a joke and laughing at herself and just like taking things not too seriously, which is why I think she has such an appeal with people right now. One of the lines that really just stuck out to me is he doesn't know the difference between there, and they are. Clearly, this girl is slim picking, for lack of better words, with her men. And it's just funny. I love that she's in on the joke. I love that she doesn't take herself too seriously. I don't think anybody in her team takes it too seriously in that realm. Like, they know she's just like making a joke, having fun, doing her thing. Before she performed, she said, "This one's cute, and I just wanted to sing it for you today. Super random of me, but it's called Slim Pickens, and I hope you like it. It's so cute. It was fun. It was like an acoustic version, so not sure what it's going to sound like when it actually comes out, but regardless, I'm so excited for this album. It comes out in like 2 weeks. It's got to be. It's August 23rd, I believe, whatever that Friday is. So it's coming out very soon. I feel like that was so quick, but again, this year is flying by, so no shocker there. And she also did an interview with Variety, which was very telling of like where she's at for this era and like what she's feeling and her, what she put into this album and like how she's putting it into the retrospect of her career. Something I thought was really interesting, and she said that the album was completely done before she put any of the singles out. And she said not that it would let the single success, deter me from the original way that I was doing the album, but she said she's very happy that like the album was done and then she put the singles out because she's not able to then go back and like change too much. Like, it's already finished, it's already in. Once it's in, it's in. So I thought that was really interesting, and I'm happy to see that it's paying off the way that she wants to. And she also made a comment about saying how if you would have asked her a few years ago what her dream album is, it would not be this group of songs. So it's hard for her to ever say like what her dream album is because like she's not able to dream up what she can do every few years, and leads me to the next point of her pretty much erasing her first four albums. So this is technically her sixth studio album, but she is saying to her it's her second album because it's her second big girl album. Her first four, they're definitely a little on the more, I don't want to say immature or like childish, but she was more with Disney. She had to be a little more PG with it. She obviously couldn't be, there's no way she was releasing like Espresso, Feather, anything like that in that era while she was on Disney Channel and doing all of that. So she's kind of like pushing those four to the side and kind of erasing them from her discography. She did say, she was like, anybody who loves them and was there to support me during them, I love you so much. Thank you. She's obviously very appreciative of her roots. And I don't think this is her erasing where she came from or, trying to be like not proud of what she's done before. But I think it's very clear to show that like her first four albums and Emails I Can't Send and what we've already seen of Short and Sweet, there's a distinct difference in who she was then and now, which is totally normal. Like, look at any artist. As they grow, their music's going to change. The things that I would be doing at 16 are not what I would be doing now, and I'm almost 30. So it makes sense. Like, it is in the retrospect of anybody's life to, like, not really love or be too proud of things that you did when you were so young. But I just thought it was funny that she was pretty much like, yeah, this is my second album. I'm kind of disregarding the first four. Very, very funny. And then, I mean, if you've been listening for a while, you know that I'm obsessed with her and Barry. They are my favorite celebrity couple at the moment. And there's been some rumors of them splitting up recently because of that TikTok she posted where she was like, me cutting him off after he's not my number one. I'm not his number one artist, something along those lines. So people thought that they broke up, but they are alive and well. Thank God, because I swear when they break up, if they break up, I hope they don't, but you never know. I'm gonna be very sad because I love them together. I've said it before. I think they are such a fun, perfect match. And even if it is just like a fling for now, I think this is such a fun little relationship arc for them. But she said that he loved the song, Please, Please, Please. Obviously, she's in the video. He's obsessed with the lyrics, and I'm so grateful for that. She said, I don't want to sound biased, but I think he's one of the best actors of this generation. Getting him on the screen with one of my songs to the soundtrack made the video better and all the more special, which it's just so cute. They don't really give us much from their relationship. They're not like out and about posting together, doing their thing. They give us like teasers here and there, but they're not very public. Like even while before they went to their first like public appearance together, they had been rumored and spotted together for a while. So they're very, not too private, but they don't give us too much, which I think is why people are quick to assume that they break up if she says anything kind of alluding to it. But they are alive and well, and I'm very excited for any more Sabrina and Barry content they will give us because I will eat all of it up. I will take it all. I love them. I love Sabrina Carpenter. I love Chappell Roan. I love Charli XCX. I love pop girls. I just love pop girl summer. It is too pop to handle. It is quite literally too pop to handle, but I want more. And speaking of too pop to handle, our last little news segment that we're going to hop into, the VMA nominations have been announced this week, and I love the VMAs. I have been 3 times. I went in 2016 when Beyonce did her big performance for Lemonade. I went in 2019, which was the year that Taylor opened it, when she did You Need to Calm Down and Lover, I believe it was. And then I went last year, so 2023. Taylor was there, obviously. Olivia performed, Megan and Cardi performed. The VMAs are just so much fun. They're honestly my favorite night on Twitter, and they've been my favorite night on Twitter since I made a Twitter. So any year I get to go is so much fun. I just also just like love live tweeting it. It is one of my favorite nights to be on the internet, and I'm so excited for us to recap the VMAs this year. Cannot wait. But like I said, the nominations are here, so we're gonna run through them really quick. I'm not gonna go too in depth with them. We're just gonna call it what it is and get on with the show. But coming in with the top nominees, Taylor Swift has 10. Post Malone got 9, Ariana Grande had 6, Eminem had 6, and Sabrina Carpenter had 6. Eminem definitely stood out to me. I was like, in this list, he just like didn't fit. Not to discredit him, I don't think he doesn't deserve to be nominated. I don't listen to, if Carolyn, if you're listening to this, I apologize, cover your ears. I don't listen to Eminem like that. I don't know what he's put out. Seeing him on this list, and especially so high up, I was like, he's definitely, the odd one out, but do your thing, I guess, Slim Shady. Keep it up. For Video of the Year, which is obviously like the big one at the Video Music Awards, we have Ariana Grande, We Can't Be Friends, Billie Eilish, Lunch, Doja Cat, Paint the Town Red, Eminem, Houdini, SZA, Snooze, Taylor Swift, Fortnite. We Can't Be Friends is still my favorite song of the year, my favorite video of the year. I'm banking on that one. I'm obsessed with it. Song of the year, we had Texas Hold'em, Lovin' on Me, Not Like Us, Espresso, Fortnite, Lose Control. Artist of the year, Ariana Grande, Bad Bunny, Eminem, Sabrina, SZA, Taylor. Best New Artist, we had Benson Boone, Chappell Roan, Gracie Abrams, Shabuzi, Teddy Swims, Tyla, and Best Pop nominee was Camila Cabello, Dua Lipa, Olivia Rodrigo, Sabrina Carpenter, Tate McRae, Taylor Swift, and Charli XCX was completely robbed. I don't want to make this whole episode about her, but the fact that she wasn't nominated for like Best Pop, Song of the Year, anything, when Brat is such a movement, I mean, come the fuck on. Like, definitely a little slighted there. But the other girls got their flowers, and Charli is nominated twice. She got Best Cinematography and Best Art Direction. So at least she wasn't completely snubbed. But very happy to see that a lot of our Too Pop to Handle girlies are nominated. Obviously, Ariana, Taylor, Beyonce, Sabrina, SZA, like so many of the people that I love and I talk about so often on the show. Dua, Olivia, Tate McRae. I'm very excited to see, any of them win. So we will see. Hopefully, I get to attend the VMAs this year. They are in New York, so we will see. If anybody at MTV is listening, hit my line. I am very available. But if not, I will be tuned in and live tweeting. But yeah, I just love the VMAs. They're such a fun night. They're like gay Christmas. You know what I mean? It's like it is such a fun night to be online, to be a pop culture girl, and I think that's going to be such a fun way. It'll be like a month before our year. So I think like having the VMAs as one of our last episodes before we hit a year on the podcast really is just like a fun little bow on top of a year of pop culture updates. So that is coming up September 10th. And that brings us to the end of the show. No TV recap this week. I know I'm behind. I need to catch up on Drag Race. We have another season of Drag Race starting soon. I need to catch up. I will. Summer is wrapping up, and I feel like everyone's in New York. Everybody, I have plans every weekend, things going on. I will catch up. I will watch Canada versus the World. I will be watching Global All Stars. I think that's the only thing really on TV right now. We're gonna get into like the fall TV soon, which will be a lot to recap, and I'm gonna have to, we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna recap and what we're not gonna talk about because I feel like fall TV is always like so overwhelming, but we will cross that bridge when we get there. But the show is not over yet. Of course, we are ending the show like we do every single week with my yes and my mess of the week. My yes being something I'm loving and my mess being something I am not loving. And my yes this week, kind of a piggyback off of last week's main topic of the Olympics, but I just have to give it up for the US women's gymnastics team. They are so incredible. All of the Olympic, like it's been a killer, I feel like Olympic year, whatever you want to call it, Olympic cycle. I don't know. I feel like it's been so fun to keep up with. Like I said last week, like it's one of the first years I feel like every single person is so into it. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know. Maybe it's a me thing. Regardless, the women's US gymnastics team killing it. It is, I don't love to be from the US a lot, but when those girls are out there doing their thing, my pronouns are USA. And when we had the all black girl podium, I was living. It was the first time it's ever happened. We had Rebecca, Simone, Jordan up there doing their thing. All three of them did their numbers to Beyonce. All of them killed it. It's been so much fun. And especially just like having Simone back this year after everything that went down a few years ago. And so many people were so rude and cruel to her for dropping out for her mental health, which is such a normal and like admirable thing to do. And then, oh my God, when they didn't know if Jordan got a medal or not, and then at the last second they found out that she got bronze, everyone freaked out. It was just like such a moment to see. I loved it. It was such like that was one of those moments when I saw it happen, I was like, oh, this is gonna be something everybody remembers for the rest of their lives. And I couldn't let the Olympics end this weekend without giving another nod to them because they really have just been like making me proud to be an American, which is not something I say often. Also, before we actually go into my mess, and maybe this is a yes, maybe it's not, I am feeling so incredibly hopeful after seeing who Kamala picked for her vice president. I am going balls to the walls. I am so excited. I didn't know much about Tim and I didn't know much about like who he was honestly before that, but I've done a lot of research in the past 2 days just to like see who he is and what he's done and what he stands for. And I mean, he has literally made a national Beyonce and national Taylor Swift holiday in Minnesota. Do I need to say anything more? I am very, very happy with who she picked for her vice president. I am feeling very hopeful. Again, I don't like talking politics on the podcast, but I'm actually at a point where I don't really care because it's my show and I can talk about whatever I want. I am feeling great. I'm feeling very hopeful. Please make sure you are registered to vote. There is 90 days, I think, until the election. I always have vote.org linked down below in the episode, whether it's on Spotify, on YouTube. You can always go there. It takes 15 seconds to check your voter registration, and it takes like less than a minute to register. And you can register up until like October 25th. You have a lot of time before you have to register for the election. So make sure you're registered. Make sure you're educating your friends. I am so excited for this Democratic ticket. It is so exciting. I'm feeling very hopeful. I'm feeling very good, which is crazy because a few weeks ago I was like, wow, we're fucked. Remember my mess a few weeks ago was just like the state of the country when after Biden and Trump did their their debate. It is like a 180 that I'm feeling and hopefully, things come through. Hopefully everybody gets out and votes. I'm feeling very hopeful. But yes, my yes this week is Simone, Jordan, and Rebecca. Moving on to something I am not loving this week, my mess. I am just as disappointed as all of you guys are, and I don't come saying this proud. I don't come to this like excited for this to be my mess because sometimes I have a mess and I'm like, oh, I cannot wait to rip this motherfucker to shreds. But Travis fucking Kelsey, why are you on stage with Morgan Wallen? Like, come on. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. And like, we got to call it out. You know what I mean? Like, Morgan Wallen is a piece of shit. He's not a great person. I'm actually very shocked that Travis would be there. I'm not that shocked that he would be into his music, to be honest. Like, it is what it is. But I'm shocked that he would like publicly go out and like walk on stage or like walk out to the stage, whatever he did with him. And I just am like, I don't know. I mean, obviously, I'm not like Travis isn't saying the things that Morgan Wallen has said, and like Travis isn't the one throwing chairs off the roof and making, these decisions. But I'm just like, it's almost. My other contender for mess this week was Kalani at Chris Brown. It's like I'm not mad at them. I'm just mad at the fact that like these shitty people, Chris Brown and Morgan Wallen and whoever else, these other artists who just get away with pretty much murder, have people who support them, and there's people who are in like these influential roles. I mean, Travis Kelsey is like the biggest name in football, and he's almost encouraging the behavior that he does by doing this, even if he's not directly saying it. And I'm sure I don't think him and I mean, I hope him and Morgan wouldn't be like best of friends or good friends. I don't know. It is to say that Morgan was performing at the cheap stadium, so like maybe that's part of it. Regardless, it just made me feel really icky, and I didn't love it. And like I've been so pro Travis and so into Travis and Taylor, and I still am. Obviously, like this isn't gonna make me hate Travis, but like this is like a slap on the wrist for him. I'm like, this is like one strike down for you. You know what I mean? Like we were all rooting for you. But it is what it is. I couldn't not talk about it. I didn't want you guys to think I was like, oh, it's fine. It's Travis. Like that. No, like I. One thing about me is like I'm gonna call out somebody when they need to be called out. I'm gonna even if they are my favorite artist, anyone I like, I'm gonna be like, don't love that. Like I'm very not afraid to call somebody on their shit if I need to, even if you are Travis Kelsey. It is what it is. Not thrilled about that. Not loving it. Definitely messy, but that's our show. Thank you guys so much for listening to this week's episode of Too Pop to Handle. If you liked what you heard and you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you give us a big thumbs up. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know how you're enjoying Pop Girl Summer because I know I am eating it up. I am loving it. Make sure you hit subscribe. If you're listening to us as a podcast, make sure you leave us a 5-star rating. I actually, oh my God, I got a 1-star rating last week. I'm not losing sleep over it, but I was like, oh, we have a hater. So if you would like to go leave me a 5-star rating and help me get my rating back up to like 4.9, I would love that. So leave me a 5-star rating, leave me a review, let me know what you're thinking. If you would like to follow us on social media, we are at 2pop to handle on all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I've been posting a lot more on Threads lately. If there's a platform, I'm pretty much yapping on it, and I am at 2pop to handle. And just because one account isn't enough, you can also follow my personal. I am at Andrew Nucatola on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, you name it, I am there. And with that, I will catch you guys in next week's episode. Bye!